Well, today we're going to get a little bit of the dirty business out of the way and talk about my bidet. Hey folks, welcome back to Tech Gooch, and today we're heading up to my bathroom and we're going to actually do the full review of my BioBidet BB2000 unit that I installed a little while back, to be honest about it. Got a lot of use out of it, and now I definitely have some thoughts, not only on the use, but also the cleaning and stuff like that. So let's head upstairs. I'll go over everything up there, show you it. We'll even wrap the toilet and show you what it looks like while it's being used with no person actually being there. And then we'll wrap things up back down here. Okay, so we're in my bathroom, and this is the BB2000 from BioBidet. We've been using it over 6 months, and I will be extremely honest, I love it. I have gotten to the point where I don't even use toilet paper myself. Obviously, with different people are going to be different depending on how everything works for you, but also on top of that, when it comes down to man versus woman, where you're going to have a little bit different end there. We still use toilet paper in the house, but less of it, specifically for even the people that wash, dry, and then still wipe a little bit just to make sure that nothing's back there. Everybody is going to have a different experience. I've kind of got it to the point where every time I wiped, it was just water I was wiping off. And so I let it dry to a point where I'm happy, and then it's just like getting a little bit damp on my underwear, and I'm okay with that. But, like I said, everybody's going to have a different experience. If you sit there and wait the whole, I think it's like a 3-minute drying time, 3 minutes. It's a long time to dry, and I usually don't wait the whole 3 minutes. But if you do, it will obviously be drier. And you can actually change the temperature on here as well. So water temperature you can modify on here, air temperature for the dryer you can modify on here, and seat temperature, the actual temperature of the seat itself, you can modify on here as well. So it's completely customizable to how you want to do it. I thoroughly enjoy this toilet seat bidet. So I thought I'd bring the remote down here for a little bit better video so you can see it easier with the better lighting. But this is what the remote looks like. And we have a bunch of buttons, So obviously we have the stop button that can stop any function at any time. The second button in is what they call the posterior wash. That's going to basically wash your backside. Then we have our feminine wash. That's for the ladies out there that want to wash a little bit further forward than what the posterior wash does, for those feminine hygiene protocols. Then we have our air dry button here. And all these have a timer, so if I hit it, right, it'll start doing the timer. And it's not going to function right now because nobody's sitting on the seat. It does not function when somebody's sitting on the seat. But you can stop these at any time just by hitting the stop button, and it'll erase that function. Next layer, vortex wash. That's when you really got some stuck on duty protocols that you really need to power something off. Then we have our kind of oscillation button. This is the double-ended arrow. Essentially what that does, that basically washes a wider area. It gives a little bit of oscillation to the water, so it cleans a little bit wider path. So some people might find that they need to do that every time, but that's dependent on you, and it's something to try. And then the next one here, the little mounds, that's the massage wash. It kind of does a pulsating zzz. And so it massages, but it also affects differently in how it feels, but also how it washes. And then this last button here is what they call the deodorize button. It just reduces the amount of odor. So you can actually set this so it's on at all times. It won't actually function unless somebody is sitting on the seat. So as soon as you sit on the seat, it'll start basically sucking the air through it. It's an item that we rarely ever use, but it is there. Maybe you'll find some great use out of it. This next layer here is, as you can see here, is for water temperature. So, for the temperature of the water when you're on any of these buttons here, you can adjust the temperature of the water. Same thing with the seat. We can adjust the temperature of the seat. So when you sit down, it warms up or doesn't warm up at all. And then we can change the time and power save, stuff like that, all that down here. So that's the gist out of the remote at least. So yeah. So in this video, I'm not actually going to turn it on and do things. I did actually do that the very first time to kind of get a realization of how it felt for the very first time because I had never used it. But in this case, I just want to show you a couple things. So if you're sitting here and you turn on the wash cycle, it's not just sit and let it go. I find the best is kind of wiggle yourself around a little bit. You'll feel exactly where it hits, and you're going to want to kind of wash around the backside. And you know, even shifting back and forth kind of around, that's what I found the best, because if I do that, I don't even have to use the full 2-minute wash cycle, and I definitely get really clean. You can always use toilet paper as a secondary device. It is not a direct replacement of toilet paper. It is a easier way to not use near as much. Like I said, I don't really use almost any anymore on this specific toilet because I've gotten how it washes down. Now, of course, if I get into a situation where my number 2 is a little different, I'll still use toilet paper. So it's great to have it on hand. And actually, you can hear the deodorizer if you listen. That's the deodorizer. So every time you sit down with the deodorizer on, it'll turn on automatically. It'll turn off automatically when you get up, but it just cycles the air down there. So, yeah. Let me show you what it looks like in the parts inside, how it actually blasts, and then we'll wrap things up. Okay, so what I did is, I have the remote in my hand, and I put some saran wrap, and I already tested it to make sure it worked properly. But I wanted to show you at least what it looks like when the mechanism comes out. So I do have to have it occupied, but if I just place my hand here, it goes occupied because it's feeling the skin sensation. So I'm just we're gonna do the standard wash first, then the feminine wash, then I'll show you what the dryer looks like and stuff. So this is what the main wash looks like on it. Oh, it's not. There we go. Didn't sense me for a second. I must have been just off. So you can see what it looks like there. I will say this, as you can see when it sticks out like this, I've been using this, we've been using this for months now, and I've been meaning to get this review out, but just recently, and actually just today, this is why I was getting the saran wrap on here, I was trying to figure out how do I wash that cylinder, or make sure it's clean. And this is actually the easiest way. Put it on here, run it, and then I just kind of take an old toothbrush and pull back the back here, and I just scrubbed it down a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot on it, to be honest, but I just want to make sure that I'm cleaning it regularly. Then we're going to do the feminine wash. And so obviously it's going to come out a little bit further forward, but it's also going to come out a little bit different hole on there, the bottom one. And it comes down further too. So I'll stop that now. If I do the drying cycle, and obviously the drying cycle I don't have to have the saran wrap on, but you can see the dryer. The little vent right there is actually venting properly right there. And then I can stop it at any time. Or if I just lift my hand off too, it'll stop. Cleaning. Let me show you what I found the best way to clean it. So I'll take the saran wrap off now. The saran wrap works great just for cleaning the little shaft of the sprayer. Cleaning the thing, they recommend don't using any chemicals. However, in all reality, this is a wet environment. You're going to get some mold building up slowly over time. And so actually, I've been using Kaboom. It's a mold and mildew with bleach. Just being really careful of where I place it, but making sure I kill it. And then I use an old toothbrush. This is my cleaning toothbrush for the bathtub or whatever. This is my little perfect thing for it. I actually don't unplug it. I don't do anything. What I found the best way is just lift the seats up. And on the side here, if you watch my installation video, there's a release mechanism that actually allows you to slide it off its base. And so I just slide it off its base, and then kind of like you're closing the seat, right? And then you can get to the bottom of the unit and clean it. There is a little like pleated kind of plastic filter. This is for the dryer area. I actually take this out and wash it in the sink and clean all this mechanism up. You can see I still have a little bit of suds on there from just cleaning it just a little bit ago. but making sure that you get any mold or anything, because you don't want to get it all funky. You want to make sure that you're spraying yourself clean. It does wash itself every time, but lifting these doors up, just making sure all this is clean, not a whole lot of anything built up around it. That's kind of key. And then when you're done, you just kind of slide it back on its base. Let's see if it's back on there. Oh, must be slightly off. There we go. And clicks. And then we're back on. So yeah, that was what I found the easiest way to clean it. And yeah. So that is the BioBidet Bliss BB2000 bidet toilet seat that you can add to any toilet, to be honest. Right now, so obviously price typically run on this on $6.99. Right now on Amazon, $6.41, but they do have an extra $100 coupon, so you can get it for $541 right now. I'm going to put a link down below to where you can take a peek at that, and if you'd like to order it, go for it, because for $541, it will take an extraordinary amount of time to pay off $541 worth of toilet paper. You will have the electricity usage, you will have the water usage on top of that. It's going to be pretty small, but it is there, and it's something to take into account. That said, as honestly as I can say, I miss being away from my toilet. So if I'm at work and I go to the bathroom, I miss not having that bidet. And if I go on vacation or I go somewhere, and especially if I'm gone for several days, I really miss that bidet. It's great because it's kind of like when you go to the bathroom before you get in the shower. Everything is great, right? You're washing up, you're completely clean, you're good to go. It's the opposite when you go in the shower, and then when you get out, then you have to go into the toilet, right? You feel dirty already. And that's the beautiful thing about this bidet, and I would say bidets in general, is it makes you feel so much cleaner during the day. I feel great not having to use almost any toilet paper, if ever, here in my home. I understand that I have to use it away yet, but it's wonderful having that bidet in my house. I have a second toilet in my house downstairs that we don't use very frequently, so it's a hard sell to add another one, specifically another nice one like the BioBidet BB2000. I do want to add one, and I'd like to try maybe a different one downstairs. That way at least I can do another video on a different model. So that's probably coming in the future, but thankfully the scarcity of toilet paper is less than it was in 2020, and I hope it continues to be that way. However, I've had this, I installed it in June of 2020. It's February, so I've had it for 8 months now, and I do not regret spending the money that I did. I did not get it for $541. I had to pay a little more than that when I bought it, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. So if you're looking at doing something, I highly recommend this unit. BioBidet makes a fantastic bidet. Like I said, men, you're going to at least get almost all toilet paper out, if not just a little bit at the end. Women, you're still going to have that front toilet paper wipe, but again, the backside, it all depends on who you are. So you may have to use the crazy wash, the spot wash kind of thing, but try it out. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I love it. 8 months in, I'm glad I have it. So, if you have any questions for me at all, comment below or head over to techgooch.com. You can get a hold of me directly through the contact form there. Comment, like, subscribe if you can. If you have any time, I guess, head over to GeekSmart. I will post the link to down below as well as here at the end to where I have the installation video. And you can take a peek at how thorough the installation goes. I still have yet to actually finish up my hard wiring. I want to put a GFI outlet near the toilet that I can plug it directly into rather than having it kind of run over across my bathroom. I was planning to do that this year, or last year, but I never got to it, and then it got really cold, and I just haven't got it. And I actually have 2 outlets to add now, so I'm going to be doing that probably in the spring, as soon as this extremely cold, heavy snow stuff's over with, and I have to get up in the attic anyway to do it. So, that said, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you back here on TechGooch for another future video review. yeah, we'll see you soon.